Thank you so much for joining us. Themba, let me start with you and talk about what actually brought this about, the play.
The play is an adaptation of a solo work that I've been doing for the past 6 years called Theatrical. So it was an inspiration taken from Robben Island, the history of political prisoners. So I looked at that in relation to my life and the phase that I was at in that year in my mental state. So I realized, Guti, it's relative. What I was going through is the same thing that the prisoners went through, but I was going through it mentally. So I realized then, Guti, I'm actually imprisoning myself in my head.
Sure, what were you going through?
You know, as an artist and as a freelance artist, and when you start to work by yourself, then there's months when there's like no work. And you have to push through and you have to try to pull yourself together. But there was a phase where I felt, Wuti, this is too much for me. Yeah.
You need to turn it around. That is so powerful. Thulani, when your involvement in the play, when Themba told you all about it, what made you decide, Wuti, last year?
Yeah, we've been working together for quite some time now, and there was one time when Themba was feeling sick. I did his this piece, Theatrical, as a solo, and then from there, I fell in love with it because I've seen him perform the piece, and then when he came to us and said, I want to change the piece to be a trio, then it was like, I'm in. And it's because like Theatrical, just like moving out into an interest within what in piece. It's that as South Africans, we are afraid of what is talking alama issues now. So I can say.
And see, afraid to talk about these issues, but more so when it comes to mental health. But for men, we always have, when it comes to issues for men, magazines that talk about tech gadgets and other things, but never about mental health. Fana, for when, what did you discover in doing Le Play?
I mean, what I've discovered, in fact, it's a lot, because this piece, it allows you to be vulnerable, to go deeper into your emotional state. So for me, it's a great platform to express this on stage without being judged, because you know when it's on stage you are totally open. So I mean, it's been a great privilege, because both of them, they've performed this work as solo. So for me, I'm the third one to experience this.
Let's talk about some of the themes that come out in the play. And he talks about, you know, that vulnerability and being able to open up once you were on that stage. What are some of the themes that you tackle?
We also tackle how do we deal with it. So there's a section in the piece where we actually undress our clothes and put them down. So it's for us, we're saying that we understand what we're going through and we accept it, but we can't live with the baggage. So that's where you see that lightness, that freedom of expression to say, I've been through this, but I accept my situation and I want to break free from it. So it's not just about looking at the dark side of it, but also the light side of it. What do you do when you are there? How do you overcome that?
And how do you overcome that? I mean, let's talk to the realities of being in a dark space and feeling you don't see your way out, because like you mentioned earlier, being a freelancer, and sometimes you get work, sometimes you don't get work, so you get moments where you are really low.
Yes.
In this piece, we try to also look at the section where we support each other as brothers. So that thing for us is really important, because as men, we lack the support, like emotional support. So those sections, they really help us to explore that support of that platform of support.
You know, he touches on an important issue as brothers, that issue, support and utindo daikali. Isn't this injalo? How destructive are they in us trying to build and move forward as a people? Because when you say uti indo daikali shoganjani, because when you're going through a tough time, it's a tough time. It is what it is.
I think it's a culture esikhule ngayo ukuthi from sasebantwana ukuthi no, you shouldn't cry. You are a man. So I think it's time that we turn that thing around, and our bethu, we don't raise them that way, so that we don't have to experience Tina isn't just his experience, because really talking helps. There's nothing that helps than talking, and that's what we're trying to achieve with the piece as well.
Sorry, you're still saying.
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Tulani, did you find some healing in this play?
Healing has always been there, because when you are with these guys, we're not just in our friends, or we're not just in our colleagues, you know. I think for him choosing us with Sibe on this work, it's because of on how we live, you know, like we cry amongst each other. So already when we are there, it's a continuation of a life that we are living. So because you know, as performers, you know, we have in a two-sided life. You have a stage life, and then you have a so-called in normal life, a young ngaphandle. But when like there's three of us, it's like it's a continuation. So we heal every day.
Every day. And the kind of conversations that you have as amagents, and maybe not you guys necessarily, because you have taken this and you've turned it around into something positive, but do we see men being vulnerable amongst each other in general, Fan?
But as for me, in my life cycle, things have changed a lot. Men are becoming more vulnerable. They siyakhuluma a lot, my close friends. I think izinto ziyachange because we've realized ukuthi this is not the right way to keep things inside, because if things are boiling inside, puma, it becomes something else. But honestly, for me, the world is changing in terms of men.
And the minutes change now.
Yeah, it's changing now.
Otherwise, it's a little move. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. Can't wait to see the play. Thank you very much for talking to us this morning about this important conversation. Dark Cell
coming
tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Dark Cell cast members Themba Mbuli, Fana Shabalala, and Tulani Chauke.